In this video, I wanted to go over how I structured my first digital marketing meeting with my client. And hopefully by the end of this video, you guys will be able to get something from this. Maybe it'll help you with your own meetings. Maybe you aren't too sure, how to structure the meeting, how to plan it in a way that makes your client really trust you, build up a lot of rapport, and really just have your client just begging for your service afterwards. So I want to go over the outline that I use, and I'm going to explain why I use this outline. So what I first did, as you guys know, this is a little update from my last video where I met the owner at the restaurant. But anyway, I go up to the restaurant for the actual meeting, and as soon as I get there, the restaurant owner, the little lady, she was kind of like waiting there for me. But I rolled up, and we got there like the same time. But anyway, as I rolled up there, she invited me to come inside. So I went inside and I started talking to her for about 2 to 3 minutes as we were trying to actually find a place to sit to actually go over the meeting. So as I was talking with her, I was asking questions that really built up a lot of rapport for a couple minutes. Like I would ask her, how long have you been in business for? What inspired you to actually start this business? Really just kind of small talk that's, kind of big small talk, I guess. But, just build up a little bit of rapport. And that's what I did for like the first 2 to 3 minutes. Now, step 2. Basically what I did was, before I actually had this meeting, I did a lot of research beforehand. And I found a huge problem with their business. The problem that I found with their business was they were getting 6,000 searches on Google every month, but they didn't have a working website. So 6,000 people were searching for my client's restaurant, and there's no website. They can't see the menu or anything like that. So that was a big problem that I brought up before I even went into the meeting. And I did this so I could establish my authority right from the start. And basically, it lets them know that, I'm the expert, and it makes they'll take you way more seriously. Also, it gives you a ton of leverage because the lady, she didn't even know anything. Like I asked her, I was like, do you know how many searches you're getting on Google every month? And she was like, no. And I told her, you're getting 6,000 searches. And she's like, oh, wow. And I'm like, what's the first thing people look at when they, type in your business? What's the first thing to look at in Google, or what's the first thing they want to see? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, it's your website. And then I brought up that her website wasn't even working. So yeah, guys, they gave me a ton of leverage for the whole entire meeting. And after I did that, I went ahead and I set the frame. Basically, how to set the frame. You just want to be honest, like up front. Like let her know, or let your client know that you have an outline, or some general loose framework that you're going to be going over with them. Most cases, I know in my case, the client, like, they don't really care if you're going through an outline or anything. Really, they don't care at all, and it lets them know that they'll be able to walk out with a really good strategy because you're super prepared. And really, just show empathy as you're doing all this. Let them know that this meeting, it's not about me, it's about you. It's about you, it's not about me. But however you want to put it, just kind of show empathy. And step 4, what I did, this is extremely important, and it worked really well in my favor. I brought pen and paper. Actually, I got like super organized. I had like a little duffel bag I put my laptop in. I had like a clipboard. I had like pens. I was super prepared. But anyway, I took out like this 5-subject notebook, and I brought out my pen. And really, this just makes you look super professional, right? It shows that you're actively listening, and it really makes your client feel really important. They're gonna be like, wow, like, he's actually, taking notes from what I'm saying. Like, it's just extremely powerful, and it works so well in person. Like, it builds up so much rapport in person, and it works really well. Like, I can't stress that enough. Plus, you can go back to your notes after the meeting, and really just kind of go over them and use that as data to schedule your next meeting for your kickoff meeting. And really, the notes, it gives you a better understanding of your client. So like, let's say you didn't sell, like you didn't have a contract the first meeting, you just, sold them on the idea of a trial. Well, you can use all this information from your notes to actually tailor them up a custom package and a custom offer that, it's just, they couldn't resist it, right? But, okay, so step 5, what I did was, I qualified them and I gathered information, and really I just wanted to understand what their motive was. I asked them, like, why are we having this meeting? Like, what's the point of the meeting? And really, like, this allows you to understand the motive. Whenever I asked her the question, basically what she told me was that she understands how important social media is, but she doesn't have time to do it, and she's not too sure even how to do that, right? So yeah, you want to find their motive, and you want to know what they've done in the past. You want to ask them, like, have you ever done this in the past before? And really, why you want to ask that is because maybe they've done it in the past before and it didn't work out, or maybe if it didn't, or maybe it's their first time even doing it. So it's just really good information to know, to kind of see where they're even at with like their marketing, or if they know anything even about the marketing. And lastly, for this step, you want to know like how they're currently bringing in customers. Like, you want to know like if they even have like a plan or even a strategy to even bring in customers. I know with my client, the meeting that I had, I asked her how she was currently bringing in customers, and she was like, newspaper, basically just kind of word of mouth. Maybe she said that they were in like a general store, but I mean, as you're finding this out, you can really present your services in a way that, okay, well, this is how I'm different. My package, it's nowhere near newspapers or billboards or anything. Like, if you're doing Facebook ads, you can actually target people based on their interests. So, you go into that, and, it really opens up their mind a lot, is I guess what I'm trying to say. But after that, you want to find out what their pain point is. So I did this by asking them what their biggest challenge was. And I found out, their biggest challenge, and I went in deeper and I asked them, like, okay, so how long have you been dealing with this challenge? Really, this just goes in deeper and lets them, it just stresses the importance of, like, how important it is to get this challenge solved. And then you can go even deeper in that, and you could say why they think this problem even exists. So yeah, I found that out by Dan Lok, so I want to give credit where credit is deserved. So basically, I learned how to close really well by just following Dan Lok, and yeah, so definitely give credit where it's deserved. But anyway, after that, you want to find out where they are financially, right? So how I did this was, you remember how I brought up the problem at the very beginning of the meeting? Well, I actually used that as leverage to find out where they were financially. And how I did that was, I reminded them of the problem that I found in the beginning, and I let them know, like, this problem is costing them a lot of money. And really, it was. If there's 6,000 people, searching for your restaurant on Google, and they can't find the menu, they can't order online, maybe out of those 6,000, 3,000 of them prefer to not even get on the phone, maybe they want to order online. So yeah, you let them know, like, hey, this problem is really costing you a lot of money. And then after I told them that, I said in a way, that's very non-aggressive. I was like, hey, maybe it's best to get down to the real number, or hey, do you mind if we talk about money? However you put it, just do it in a non-aggressive way. It kind of depends on like who you're actually dealing with. The lady that I was dealing with, she's very genuine, very soft-spoken. So obviously I don't want to come off real aggressive, because that would be unattractive to the client. So yeah, you want to find out how much monthly revenue they did. This gives you kind of like some framework to work with. After that, you want to learn what their dreams are and what their desires are, and this really it gets them to open up a lot. So you want to ask questions that really you want to find out what gets them excited or satisfied, and this could be like a certain amount of money, making an impact, or even helping a cause. Whatever it is, you want to find out, what their desires are, because it's just so much easier to sell them. Because remember, guys, like you're not selling, how you're selling your services. You're selling the lifestyle of your services, right? So in order to sell the lifestyle, you got to sell them the dream lifestyle. You got to sell them the dream. And then yeah, at the very end, you want to ask them like what their motivation, really is to achieve that. In most cases, they're gonna be like, well, it's you, or they'll be subconsciously thinking it's you, because they don't really know and they don't really have the motivation, because they're kind of lost and they need you because you're the roadmap, right? And step 9, you just want to set the expectations. You want to let them know what to expect. Since I sold Facebook ads to my client, I basically let her know that, hey, it may take 2 to 3 months for you to see, really good results. Most results don't come super quickly. Yes, you may see some small wins, but to find your perfect campaign, your perfect audience, and your winning ad set, it may take like 2 to 3 months. But really, this is just so they don't get disappointed when it doesn't work as well as they may have thought it would for the time frame that you let them know. And if it does go better than expected, it does go really well, they'll be even more excited. So it's a win-win either way. And step 10, you just want to educate your services. You want to let them know how your services are different than any other forms of advertising. Let them know, how you're different, because really, they're investing in you, not your services. They're investing in you and the lifestyle that you can, provide them with. So yeah, keep a brief overview and keep it really simple, and show and tell. Teach them something about your services, right? So like what I did was I went into Audience Insights, and I let her know. I was like, hey, you want to see Facebook's huge database of data? And she's like, oh yeah. So like I looked up Audience Insights, I typed in her niche, and yeah, it really I don't know how to put this, but it really opened up her mind, and she was really fascinated by that. I guess that's the word I was looking for. But lastly, you want to go over a strategy they can put into action. This could be like a campaign strategy or a special offer. It could be anything really, but this is like a strategy they can put in action themselves, or they're probably more likely to let you do it, since you've already built up so much rapport anyway. So it'd be very easy to sell them afterwards. And which leads me to my last step. You got to just close the client. Basically what I did was I just asked them, like, hey, you up for it? And they agreed to it. I handed them the agreement, and they agreed to a 14-day trial. So yeah, if the trial goes very well, most likely they will continue it, because I think it's going to go very, very well. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. And after that, you want to schedule the second meeting, which would be the kickoff meeting, which you kind of just let them know what your plans are, and you just get access to their Facebook page if you're selling Facebook ads, or maybe you'll create them a new page. And anyway, that'll wrap it up for this video. This is kind of like a spontaneous video shoot. I just wanted to go over how I structured the meeting and how I got the client. But anyway, if you found a lot of value in this video, consider subscribing. Leave a like, and share this with a friend who is interested in starting their own business, and who really wants to take control of their life and really get the freedom that they deserve. Talk soon. Peace out.